The voice of doubt is paralyzing your faith. Today, we're going to learn how to silence it, not with a sudden burst of inspiration, but with a quiet, unwavering discipline. We stand at a crossroads, many of us feeling adrift, caught in currents. We didn't choose, wondering why the promised peace feels so distant. You've prayed, you've hoped, you've even tried to push through, yet the persistent whisper of inadequacy or the loud clamor of daily chaos seems to drown out everything else. This isn't a battle of talent or luck. It's a quiet war waged on the battlefield of your daily habits. And the good news, the profound promise we bring you today, is that you hold the power to reclaim your mind, your spirit, and your life, transforming every challenge into a stepping stone towards the abundant life Christ promised. This transformation begins not with a grand revelation, but with the consistent, deliberate choices you make, starting right here, right now. It is a journey of intentionality, where every morning, every thought, every interaction becomes an opportunity to cultivate a deeper, more resilient self, grounded in God's unwavering truth. We live in a world that constantly demands our attention, pulling us in 1,000 different directions, often leaving us feeling fragmented and overwhelmed. It's easy to blame external circumstances, the demanding job, the challenging family dynamics, the relentless news cycle. But if we're honest with ourselves, much of the dis-ease we feel stems from an internal disarray, a lack of intentional architecture in the very foundations of our day. Have you ever felt like you're simply reacting to life, rather than actively creating it? This reactive posture, while seemingly unavoidable, slowly erodes our sense of purpose and our spiritual vitality. It's like tending a garden by merely observing what grows, rather than actively planting seeds and weeding out what chokes the life from the soil. The weeds of distraction, negative self-talk, and aimless consumption are insidious, powerful, and silently steal our focus, our energy, and ultimately, our peace. But what if the solution isn't more effort, but more intention? What if the path to clarity and strength isn't found in monumental shifts, but in the quiet, consistent rhythm of small, deliberate actions? The first clue to your transformation lies in recognizing that your current reality is a reflection of your cumulative daily habits. It's time to stop waiting for change to happen to you and start making change happen within you. If this message resonates deep within your spirit, if you're ready to begin cultivating a life of purpose and peace, then join this community. Share your initial thoughts in the comments below and consider subscribing to walk this journey with us. One of the most persistent obstacles many of us face is the feeling of being perpetually behind, of life dictating our pace rather than us setting our own. Consider the story of David, a public school teacher in his late 40s, who felt like he was constantly playing catch-up. His days began in a scramble, reacting to the urgent emails, the unexpected calls, the immediate demands of his students and colleagues. He'd often wake up feeling a sense of dread, knowing the day would simply pull him along. His spiritual life felt equally reactive. Hurried prayers, a quick glance at a scripture verse, always squeezed in, never truly savored. David realized he was letting the world direct his mental and spiritual compass. He started small, not with a grand overhaul, but with one intentional habit: waking up just 30 minutes earlier than usual. Those 30 minutes became sacred. He wouldn't check his phone or dive into work. Instead, he'd sit in quiet reflection, journaling his thoughts, fears, and hopes, and then turning his heart towards God in prayer. This wasn't about productivity. It was about direction. It was about telling his mind, his spirit, and his day where Ek intended to go, rather than letting the world dictate the flow. This simple act of waking earlier, of claiming the dawn, became his anchor, transforming his reactive mornings into intentional beginnings. He discovered that discipline wasn't a punishment, but a profound act of self-love and spiritual stewardship, setting the tone for a day lived with purpose, not just reaction. Another subtle, yet incredibly powerful obstacle we often overlook is the insidious influence of the content we consume and the way we speak to ourselves. It's like allowing weeds to take root in the garden of your mind, choking out the vibrant growth of faith and peace. Eleanor, a kind and dedicated nurse in her mid-50s, found herself constantly drained. She'd spend hours scrolling through news feeds filled with negativity, or listening to podcasts that fueled anxiety and despair. Worse still, her internal dialogue was a relentless critic, constantly reminding her of perceived failures, shortcomings, and missed opportunities. She'd think, "I'm not good enough. I'm too old to change," or "Why bother? It won't make a difference." The surprising revelation she stumbled upon was this: your mind is not merely a receptacle for information, it is a sacred space, a temple where your spirit resides. And just as you wouldn't invite toxic fumes into your home, you must not allow toxic content or toxic self-talk to pollute your inner sanctuary. Eleanor began a deliberate detox. She cut out news channels that left her feeling hopeless and replaced aimless scrolling with uplifting spiritual teachings or quiet reflection. More profoundly, she started challenging her negative self-talk, replacing "I'm not good enough" with "I am fearfully and wonderfully made," Psalm 139:14. This wasn't about forced positivity. It was about aligning her inner voice with God's truth, transforming a critical inner adversary into a supportive, encouraging ally. The practical application is simple yet profound. Guard your gates. Be fiercely protective of what you allow into your mind, and be even more vigilant about the words you speak to yourself. For out of the heart, the mouth speaks, and out of the mind, your life flows. The journey of spiritual growth often feels abstract, disconnected from our physical reality. Yet the Bible consistently reminds us of a profound link between our physical being and our spiritual vitality. This is a critical turning point for many who seek a deeper connection with God. Have you ever considered that your body is not just a vessel for your spirit, but an integral part of your spiritual walk, a temple of the Holy Spirit, as 1 Corinthians 6:19-20 reminds us? We often separate physical health from spiritual discipline, but they are intricately woven together in God's divine design. The central biblical truth here is that stewardship extends beyond our finances or talents. It encompasses the care of our very being. When we move our bodies daily, whether it's a brisk walk, a gentle stretch, or vigorous exercise, we aren't just improving our physical health. We are enhancing our mental clarity, boosting our energy, and inviting a deeper sense of presence. This isn't about vanity or chasing fleeting trends. It's about honoring the gift of life and the vessel God has given us. Eleanor, our nurse, found that even a 20-minute walk each evening, during which she intentionally focused on gratitude and prayer, profoundly impacted her ability to reflect and process her day. It cleared the mental fog, allowing her to approach her evening reflections with a calm, discerning spirit. This inner transformation, born from consistent physical movement and nightly reflection, allowed her to truly sharpen her self-awareness, learning from her daily choices and growing in wisdom. It's a powerful reminder that spiritual transformation isn't just about what you believe, but about how you live in every dimension of your being. Embracing these daily habits brings forth a new perspective, revealing the profound truth that our individual choices have a ripple effect far beyond ourselves. It's not just about personal improvement. It's about becoming a beacon of God's light in a world that desperately needs it. Consider the testimony of Marcus, a young graphics designer who felt trapped in a cycle of endless digital distraction. His phone was a constant companion, pulling him into an abyss of pointless scrolling, draining his creativity and leaving him feeling perpetually unfulfilled. He realized he was wasting precious hours, not just of his life, but of his potential to serve God and others. His breakthrough came when he started intentionally limiting his screen time, not as a punishment, but as an act of reclaiming his attention and mental energy. This newfound focus allowed him to invest more deeply in his relationships and in his faith. But the real game changer for Marcus was the realization that our environment profoundly shapes us. He started actively seeking out and surrounding himself with disciplined people, Not just successful people, but individuals who were intentionally growing in their faith, their craft, and their character. He joined a small men's group at his church, sought out mentors who embodied the values he admired, and even volunteered for projects that put him in proximity to ambitious, growth-oriented individuals. This wasn't about abandoning old friends. It was about elevating his own standards and accelerating his growth by being influenced by those who were already walking the path he aspired to. The expansive application of this principle is clear. Your spiritual and personal growth are inextricably linked to the company you keep. Just as iron sharpens iron, so too do disciplined, faith-filled individuals sharpen one another. So how do we bring these powerful insights into our daily lives, transforming abstract concepts into tangible, life-changing realities? The answer lies in two final yet foundational, practical steps. First, follow a simple plan. Many of us get overwhelmed by the sheer volume of things we could do, leading to an inability to do anything effectively. But mental organization and clarity don't require complex systems. They require intentional prioritization. Just as Nehemiah had a clear plan for rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, even amidst opposition, you need a simple, structured approach for your day. This means identifying your top 2-3 essential tasks for the day, the things that truly move you forward in your faith, your work, and your relationships, and scheduling them intentionally. It's about designing your day with purpose, rather than letting your day design you. This vision renewed will empower you to say no to distractions and yes to what truly matters. Second, and perhaps most liberating of all, take full ownership of every choice. This is where personal power and freedom are truly unlocked. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or even God for our predicaments. But when you accept full responsibility for your actions, your responses, and your attitudes, you step into a position of incredible agency. It's the difference between being a passenger in your own life and becoming the pilot. This isn't about self-blame. It's about self-empowerment. It's about recognizing that your spiritual evolution, your personal growth, and your capacity to live a life of profound purpose are driven by the choices you make, moment by moment. The invitation to change is simple. Begin. We have journeyed together through the landscape of daily habits, from the quiet discipline of an early morning to the profound freedom of taking full ownership of your choices. This isn't merely a list of good ideas. It is a blueprint for building a life of profound strength, unwavering focus, and resilient faith. Imagine a future where you wake up not with dread, but with a clear sense of divine purpose, where your mind is a sanctuary of peace, not a battleground of distraction. Envision a life where your actions are aligned with your deepest values, where your relationships are nourished, and where every challenge becomes an opportunity for God to reveal His strength through you. This vision is not a distant dream. It is the natural harvest of consistent, intentional habits, cultivated day by day, choice by choice. Just as a small stream, through persistent flow, carves out a mighty canyon, so too will your seemingly small, consistent habits sculpt a life of extraordinary impact. This journey of transformation is not meant to be walked alone. We are a community of believers, striving for growth, seeking God's wisdom in every step. If this message has stirred something within your spirit, if you are ready to embrace this journey of intentional living, we invite you to share your deepest aspiration in the comments below. What is one habit you will begin cultivating today? Your story, your struggle, your triumph might be the very encouragement someone else needs. Let's build this future together, one faithful habit at a time.